Now, imagine running a marathon beyond the reach of most of us. Imagine running a marathon, 26 miles and change, every day for a year. That's the challenge tonight's Great Briton Gary McKee from Cleatormoor in Cumbria embarked upon on the 1st of January this year. With, I'm guessing, more than 300 marathons behind him, he joins me now. Gary, there you are. You look infeasibly well for someone who's been running a marathon every day since January. How many have you done and how many have you got to go?
So today was day 309, which just leaves 56, 8 weeks today and we'll be finished. New Year's Eve.
Do you keep running the same route or do you go to different parts of the country and run a marathon there?
No, I do use the same route. There's only 2 days that I haven't actually used the same route. The reason I do that is because it starts and finishes on my doorstep. It gives me time to get back home, do what I need to do, have a bit of food, do my legs, and then go to work. So the route works for me. There's lots of places where people can join me because they know where I'll be at. People who aren't doing a full marathon can come and do however many miles they want to do, and the route works.
I hadn't even factored in the thought that on top of running a marathon every day, you then go to work. So what kind of time are you typically running your marathon in?
When I started, I was knocking them out in just over 3.5 hours, usually around about 3:40. I picked up an injury about 3 months ago, so I've slowed everything down just to manage that injury. They're still all done in under 4 hours as an average.
And what kind of physical or even psychological toll is it taking on you?
Well, physically, I don't think it's taken anything. You do get a little bit stiff, your legs, but I have a massage once a week. I use the sauna as much as I can. I've got a sauna at home. I look after my legs. Obviously, I've lost a little bit of weight by doing what I'm doing. Mentally, I just crack on with it. You get a lot of support from the community. Lots of people out, which encourages you. I'm hoping to raise £1 million. We've raised around about $250,000 now. So every day when you're looking at your Just Giving page going up, I've always explained to people that £50 buys a food blender for somebody with throat cancer. And if you look at all the £50 in that £250,000, that's how many people you're reaching out to. So mentally, it's a day at a time. It always has been. It's like a 365-piece jigsaw. One day we put a piece in place and we crack on to the next day.
By the end of it, the arithmetic's beyond me. How far will you have run since the 1st of January when you complete the challenge?
The marathon running is around about 9,650 miles, but I do a little bit of warm up on the treadmill beforehand, a little bit afterwards, keep my legs moving. So I'll complete over 10,000 miles this year.
I'm getting the impression that you must have gone through more than one pair of trainers since January.
Everybody asks about how many shoes I wear. I don't actually go through any. What I do is I rotate my shoes so that they don't get wore out or anything, keep the cushioning and the support in them, and I'm using around about 25 pairs.
Tell me, I should have asked you first, I suppose, really, what inspired you to do this?
I became a fundraiser for Macmillan Cancer Support in 2003. My dad was diagnosed with cancer in 1997 and he passed away in 2003 of an unrelated illness, and I wanted to do something in his memory. And I thought back to the day that we told he had cancer and how other families were going to be told that devastating news. There's around about 1,000 people diagnosed with cancer every day, 350,000 a year. It's a lot of people. And when you're told that one word, your world turns upside down. I wanted to offer people who was in the same situation that we'd been the support through the charities that I raise funds for. So I became a fundraiser, and I've done lots of challenges in the last 20 years, raised around about £1 million.
I suppose in a way that perhaps not so many people realise, your physical effort every day, I suppose it keeps in the forefront of your mind what it means to be physically well enough to do what you're doing. Yeah,
people often talk about mental strength and what it takes to do what I'm doing. And some people, if you haven't run a marathon before or you're not a runner, you might just think, oh, he's doing a marathon, is he? But it does take a lot to get up every single morning and put your shoes on in all weather conditions and get out there. I think you've got to remember that we've had the hottest summer on record, 30 odd degrees when we were running, but it's all on my terms. If I want to slow things down and we take more water on board, then that's what we'll do. It can be physically demanding. You've got to manage your niggles and your injuries. But whatever I'm going through, somebody's going through worse. And I always say that to people. We've had all sorts of weather thrown at us. We live in Cumbria, we have 4 seasons in one day. I always say to people when it's raining, and today it rained from start to finish, and I always say that when it's raining, somebody's going to be in a cancer ward, they're going to be ringing the bell to signify that they're cancer-free. When they go outside, they're going to see the rain and they're going to say, this is the nicest rain we've ever had. So I always say to people, we're running in somebody else's rain. And that sort of message picks people up. It gives them that little lift and we go again. And I just think that I'm doing what I'm capable of doing. I think if more people done what they were capable of doing, we would live in a better world.
Gary McKee, obviously the details have been of how people can, get involved in giving and providing some support for what you're doing. That's been running under the pictures all the time we've been talking, and hopefully people will do that. But Gary, you are truly a great Briton. Just listening to the calm and self-deprecating and reasoned way you describe running a marathon every day before you go to your work. If that doesn't make a great Briton, I don't know what does. Keep doing what you're doing. You're a splendid chap, and I'm delighted that I was able to spend some time with you.
Thanks very much.